Welcome to the CPM Customer Success Podcast, where we help Office of Finance leaders enable an exact solution to enhance their corporate performance without spending countless nights and weekends in the office. Hi, I'm your host, Andy Smetana from Nova Advisory. Nova Advisory is a 100% OneStream professional services diamond implementation partner. We help OneStream customers and prospective OneStream customers get the most out of their OneStream investments. For CPM Customer Success listeners, we now have a weekly email newsletter to keep you informed on the latest CPM Customer Success news. By subscribing today, we'll keep you informed on episode releases, including customer success stories, OneStream interviews, and capabilities to keep you up to date about OneStream's unified platform for finance. You can check that out now at Nova Advisory's website, novaadvisory.com/podcast, and subscribe to the CPM Customer Success Podcast newsletter today. In this episode, we're diving into a topic that every finance leader cares about, and that's dynamic allocations, and how dynamic allocations can unlock accuracy, efficiency, and strategic value in your resource planning. We're going to unpack how dynamic allocations in OneStream simplify complex cost models. They enable transparency across the organization and eliminate time-consuming manual processes. Those manual processes really slow down your business and slow down your teams. And we'll also highlight a powerful CPM customer success story from an insurance company that turned their entire allocation process into a strategic advantage while using OneStream. So let's get into it. So if you're a finance and accounting leader, you've probably got real pain points in your allocation methodology today. You probably see firsthand how traditional allocations can cause more problems than they solve. So let's break down some of the common pain points we see at Nova Advisory. First off, spreadsheets. They're everywhere. They're still doing the heavy lifting in the allocation process. They're fragile, they're disconnected, and they're error prone. Allocations are often hard-coded and they lack transparency. People don't understand the numbers. Cost center owners, they're confused on how those shared costs are being distributed to them. That erodes trust in their numbers. So you need to rework your models. Every time a business assumption changes, that means you've got delays, you've got version confusion, you've got late nights. People don't understand which allocation spreadsheet's the right one. And if your close, forecast, and plans all live in different tools or silos, you lose consistency, traceability, and confidence in those numbers. Now, dynamic allocations in OneStream are the solution to all of those problems. So let's talk about what dynamic allocations are in OneStream are and what that's all about. Well, they're flexible, they're real-time, they're fully integrated into your financial processes. So they allow you to define allocation logic based on real business drivers, things like headcount or square footage or usage or revenue contribution. And then you can apply those rules across your dimensions, things like cost centers or departments, geographies or products. And then you can run those allocations with a single click. You can instantly see the impact and drill into pre- and post-allocated values, so you've got the full auditability. There's no more black boxes, there's no offline logic. You've just got transparent, finance-owned models that can scale with your business. And even better, OneStream's latest productivity tools make allocation setup easier than ever, with no-code interfaces and guided configuration steps. So let's talk about some of the benefits of going to dynamic allocations. First off, accuracy. You're allocating based on what's actually happening in your business, not flat rates or outdated assumptions. Let's talk about efficiency. Allocations that used to take hours or even days can now run in minutes. There's no rekeying, there's no manual rework. Transparency. So your internal stakeholders, your budget owners, your department heads, they can see exactly how costs are being allocated to them. That builds trust in your organization. Scenario planning. Well, if you want to test how changes in your HR headcount or facility footprint affect your shared service allocation costs, We can run what-if scenarios with zero spreadsheet gymnastics. Strategic focus. With the grunt work automated, your finance teams can spend more time driving insights and partnering with the business. Next up, let's dive into our CPM Customer Success Story of the Week. Let's zoom in on a real-world transformation with an insurance company. They're a top 75 U.S. property and casualty broker with over $1.5 billion in assets. Their finance team faced challenges familiar to many of you. They're using a patchwork of Excel workbooks and standalone software to manage financial close and allocations processes. It was manual, it was slow, and there was little visibility into how allocations were flowing through the business. Allocations were a huge pain point. Shared service costs, things like IT, HR, and facilities, all needed to be spread across the business lines, product groups, and regions. The process required multiple offline tools, time-consuming reconciliations between those tools, and frequent back and forth with cost center owners who just didn't trust the numbers. The tipping point came when they realized that their existing model couldn't scale, and it certainly couldn't support rolling forecasts, deeper planning, and financial analysis. So they turned to OneStream. The company took a phased approach to their transformation. Phase 1, they focused on core financial close automation, including dynamic allocations. They built allocation logic directly into OneStream using business rules and workflows, all integrated with their GL data and financial reporting. Their key allocation drivers included things like full-time equivalents or FTEs, policy counts, square footage, and operating expenses. And they didn't just build flat calculations, they created multi-tier allocation logic that flowed costs through layers of the business. It started off on things like shared services, then allocated down to divisions, then to individual product lines and states. Every allocation step was auditable. Every input was visible, and the results could be validated instantly. Let's talk about their numbers. Their month-end allocation process, which used to take 2 to 3 days, now it runs in 30 minutes on OneStream. Their finance team no longer has to wait for IT. They own the process end to end. Their pre- and post-allocation data was viewable in real time through OneStream's cube views and their dashboards. And even better, cost center managers who used to push back, now they have full transparency into how the allocations were determined. They could drill into the logic, they could see the drivers, and they could plan accordingly. Their CFO summed it up best when they said, "We've gone from tedious report creation and reconciliations to meaningful analysis and strategic conversations." OneStream gave us the peace of mind that comes with transparency, automation, and trust in the numbers. That's a pretty powerful statement from a CFO. But the benefits didn't stop there. This insurance company expanded their OneStream footprint into budgeting and forecasting, people planning, capital planning, transaction matching, and into rolling forecasts with allocation modeling. By building all of these into a single OneStream platform, they ensured that data, logic, and workflows were aligned from end to end. There's no more reconciliation nightmares, there's no more version control issues, just a single source of truth that's scaled across their enterprise. If your organization is still living in Excel, this insurance company's journey, it's a clear sign it's time to upgrade. So if you're thinking about starting your own allocation transformation, here are a few tips. First off, start small. Pick a high impact area like IT or shared services and build a simple allocation using real business drivers. Second off, engage your stakeholders early. Bringing in department leaders to understand the logic. That helps build buy-in and transparency from the first day you start the project. Leverage the platform tools. Use OneStream's productivity tools to build no-code allocations, test out the rules, and validate results before deploying the solution. Plan in phases. Don't try to do it all at once. Nail down your allocations, then expand to budgeting and forecasting. Lean on the experts. Give us a call at Nova Advisory. We're an experienced OneStream Diamond implementation partner, and we can help you shorten your learning curve and accelerate your success. So final thoughts and our call to action of the week. Dynamic allocations in OneStream are more than just process improvement. They represent a shift from disconnected manual finance work to a unified strategic model for managing costs and performance. As our CPM Customer Success story of the week showed, when allocations are fast, they're accurate, and they're trusted, finance becomes a true business partner. So if you're ready to ditch the spreadsheets and move forward into a smarter, more scalable approach with OneStream, now is the time. Give us a call. Thanks for joining us for this episode of CPM Customer Success. Reminder to check out the CPM Customer Success weekly email newsletter to stay informed of the latest CPM Customer Success episodes and OneStream news. You can check that out now at the Nova Advisory website, novaadvisory.com/podcast, and subscribe to the CPM Customer Success Podcast email newsletter today. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you next week for another episode of CPM Customer Success.